On February 14, 1942, in the dim basement of Harvard's Converse Laboratory, Professor Louis Fiser held a small sample of jellied gasoline aloft, igniting it with a match, and watched in awe as the flame clung stubbornly, refusing to die, unlike any ordinary fuel. The mixture of aluminum naphthenate and aluminum palmitate transformed ordinary gasoline into a sticky, thickened gel, flowing slowly, adhering to surfaces, and burning with an intensity that would make conventional fire look tame. Fiser, a 42-year-old organic chemist from Columbus, Ohio, who had spent years synthesizing vitamin K and studying blood coagulation, immediately grasped the destructive potential of his invention. The Pacific War had already exposed a brutal truth. Japanese defenders would not surrender, fortifying islands with cave networks, reinforced bunkers, pillboxes, and miles of underground passages that had withstood artillery, naval bombardments, and conventional bombing campaigns. Iwo Jima alone contained over 11 miles of subterranean fortifications, and Okinawa's defenders had transformed ancient tombs into machine gun nests. Fiser's gel, later known as napalm, promised a solution, a weapon that could flow into bunkers, cling to walls, penetrate caves, and burn with temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius, immune to water or conventional extinguishing methods. Its first experimental deployment, on a Harvard soccer field in July 1942, was chaotic yet revealing. 30 pounds of the compound, dropped into shallow water, ignited and erupted into flaming globules, sticking to grass, clothing, and even tennis players' equipment, spreading fire that no ordinary fuel could match. Fiser meticulously documented its chemical properties and potential, while the military quickly recognized its revolutionary possibilities. Production began in earnest, first at Nuarex products, yielding a brown, seemingly innocuous powder that, when mixed with gasoline, transformed into a horrifyingly effective weapon. By mid-1942, the Chemical Warfare Service ordered thousands of tons. By 1943, production scaled to 500,000 units, and by 1944, 8 million M69 incendiary bombs were being manufactured, each designed to scatter jellied gasoline over a 15-foot diameter and capable of being deployed en masse in E-46 cluster bombs. Napalm first saw combat in Europe during the Allied invasion of Sicily in August 1943, but its true test awaited in the Pacific, against Japanese fortifications that had resisted every previous assault. On July 22, 1944, at Tinian Island, Captain Robert Johnson of the 2nd Marine Division watched Army Air Force fighters approach, their holds laden not with high explosives, but with napalm, the first deployment in the Pacific Theater. Japanese defenders, commanded by Colonel Kiyoshi Ogata, had spent months excavating caves into coral cliffs, fortifying positions with artillery hidden in reverse slope emplacements, and preparing for a prolonged siege. As the first napalm bombs ignited, orange flames rolled across fortifications like molten lava, seeping into caves, bunker slits, and pillboxes, forcing soldiers into the open in burning uniforms, unable to escape. Observers like Marine Corporal James Chen recorded the unprecedented scene. Defenders emerged from holes previously unknown, rolling in dirt to extinguish flames that water could not quench. Within days, field commanders requested napalm strikes. Before every advance, as entire networks that had required hours of assault fell in minutes. On Saipan, the M2 portable flamethrower extended this effect at close range, but operators faced a 90% casualty rate. The solution came in the form of Navy-modified Sherman tanks, dubbed Zippos by Marines, capable of projecting liquid fire 150 yards under armored protection. These weapons arrived on Iwo Jima on February 19, 1945, and within days, Corporal Herschel Woody Williams and other flamethrower teams neutralized underground fortresses that had previously stymied entire regiments, sending streams of burning gel through ventilation shafts and underground tunnels, consuming Japanese soldiers in seconds. The psychological impact was as profound as the physical devastation. Japanese communications intercepted by the U.S. spoke of demon fire and dragon tanks, while survivors testified to the terrifying, unstoppable nature of the flames. Lessons learned in the Pacific translated into strategic incendiary campaigns across Japan itself. By March 1945, General Curtis LeMay implemented low-altitude night raids using B-29s armed with M69 clusters, targeting densely populated wooden districts where small factories and residential neighborhoods intertwined. Tokyo's Operation Meeting House raid created a firestorm of unprecedented scale, with superheated winds exceeding 100 miles per hour, concrete boiling, steel melting, and tens of thousands of civilians perishing. The firestorms that followed in Nagoya, Osaka, Kobe, and other cities destroyed industrial capacity, disrupted transportation, and left millions homeless, cumulatively killing hundreds of thousands. Conventional firefighting efforts were rendered useless as the gel's adhesive. Superheated properties made water not only ineffective, but dangerous, producing scalding steam. Even as atomic bombs devastated Hiroshima and Nagasaki, incendiary raids had already systematically destroyed more Japanese urban area and industrial capability, forcing surrender. The Pacific War, once begun with torpedo planes at Pearl Harbor, ended not with an atomic flash, but with the smoldering remains of countless firebombed cities. After the war, Fiser returned to Harvard, honored with the Medal for Merit, but burdened by moral uncertainty as he watched napalm used in subsequent conflicts like Vietnam, writing to President Nixon to urge restrictions on its use. The industrial, tactical, and chemical revolution he had unleashed had ended the age of static fortification. No bunker, no cave, no fortified hill could resist jellied flames. Flame tanks were decommissioned, CBS units disbanded, and the soldiers who wielded the weapons returned to civilian life, while survivors of the Pacific battles carried trauma for generations. Yet from the ashes rose modern Japan, rebuilt, economically powerful, and culturally vibrant, a testament to resilience in the face of technological devastation. Napalm's legacy remains double-edged, a marvel of chemical ingenuity, an instrument of mass destruction, and a stark reminder that in total war, industrial capacity and innovation can surpass courage and fortification. The weapon born in a Harvard basement, tested on a soccer field, deployed across volcanic islands, and ultimately dropped on cities, had changed warfare forever, proving that the calculus of modern conflict was now determined as much by chemistry and production as by strategy and valor, leaving a legacy of power, terror, and ethical ambiguity that persists to this day.